There's one in particular testimony that I've not shared on YouTube that I'm led by the Lord to share here today with you. It's not something that I particularly like to talk about, but it involves the spirit of lust. Um, I was plagued with the spirit of lust since a very, very young age. Actually, the summer before I went into third grade is when the spirit of lust really had a hold on me and began to manifest in and through me in my actions. And how that happened, I was exposed at a very young age. Around 6, 7 years old, I was exposed to pornography. Seeing my older cousin and his girlfriend, watch the movies and magazines I come across and looked into them. And honestly, I mean, at that age, you don't really understand what it is. You just, looking at pictures. And then um, the summer before I was in third grade, I must have been around 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old. Um, we were going to be moving to England, and my mom and my stepdad. Um, well, my stepdad was in the military. He was in the Air Force, and he was going to be stationed uh, overseas in England. So we were going to move after summer. At the end of the summer, we were going to be moving over to uh, the United Kingdom. And my mother got in touch with my real dad and told him that she didn't know when we were going to be moving back to the States, and we were going to be gone for a while, probably 4 years or more. You never know. And she said, you might want to spend some time with your son. Well, I didn't have a real close relationship with my dad. Um, some of you guys may know I had a video. My dad passed away last year, and the Lord brought us together here the last year of his life. But anyways, there's a video back in my videos from a year ago that you can look at. But so my dad wanted to spend some time with me, and so I went and spent every weekend over at his house. That summer before we moved, I went over there, for Friday and Saturday, and went home Sunday. And um, my dad was he was an alcoholic, and his wife that he had remarried, she was also an alcoholic. They were really, really poor. They lived in a ran down trailer park. It was just, a lot of poor people, and a lot of, nothing against trailer parks or anything like that. My mom's lived in a trailer park before, and we still know people who live in trailer park. Nothing against a trailer park, but this particular trailer park had a lot of bad things going on. Parties, drinking, drugs, all that stuff. And this is, a long time ago. It's 25, almost 30, almost 30 years ago. So, anyways, I went to spend the weekends for those couple months over at my dad's house, this trailer park he lived in, and his wife, her name was Bev. She had two daughters. They were teenage daughters. I think one of them was maybe 12 or 13, and then the other one was older, like 16 or 17, maybe 16. I'm not really positive of their ages, but they were older. One of them I think was in junior high, and the other one was in high school. And anyways, when I went over there, uh, like my dad would always be drinking, and when he got real drunk, he would become violent, and they'd be fighting back and forth. Him and my stepmom at the time, they'd be fighting, and he'd black her eye, and and just be yelling. It was horrible. It was horrible. Um, and I'd never been exposed to quite anything like that before. Um, you know, and they would make all of us kids. Jennifer was the junior high age girl, and then Lisa was the oldest girl, which she must have been 15 or 16. And they'd make us go to the back of the trailer where when we were in the back of the trailer back there, these older girls, and keep in mind I'm like 7, 8 years old, second grade, going into third grade, so it was the summer, and they would they would they would get me to do things to them and do things to me, and they'd say, let's go play house. So we'd sit back there in the back of this trailer pretty much all weekend long while they were up front drinking and doing whatever they were doing, smoking and getting high or doing whatever they're doing, and we'd be back there in the back of the trailer, and we'd be playing house, and and I'm not going to go into all the different things that was done to me and I was done to them and all those things. I'm not going to go into all of that, but you guys can imagine. And and I didn't know any better, and I really didn't know that I was doing anything wrong, and I really didn't understand what was going on. But this happened all all summer long, and went over. Then after that summer, we moved to England, and in third grade over there, I was having a lot of issues when I first started school. I was actually going up to girls and touching them in inappropriate places, actually grabbing their crotch areas and looking up their skirts and just lifting up girls' dresses. I mean, I was doing all kinds of things like that, and I didn't even understand. I mean, looking back, I didn't even know uh, why I was even doing that. I mean, I didn't know it was even wrong. It was like, um, and I always had a feeling inside me that since that happened that summer, I've always had a feeling inside me until I was actually born again, and the Lord filled me with His Spirit. I always had a feeling inside me that I was going to die at a young age. I believe, spirit of fear, and the spirit of lust and perversion and just sexual sin and just evil, just lust and fear. I believe entered me um, that summer, and it just began to manifest in and through me over there in England. And I got into a lot of trouble there in third grade because I was touching girls and just being rebellious and acting out. And I never told anybody. See, I didn't never tell my mom or my stepdad or anybody what had happened to me. I just told my mom, maybe a couple years ago um, about this. But it just, from that summer, uh, it's like my purity, like my innocence. Like it's like my innocence was gone. And my life changed, and I just looked at girls in a different way. I would notice things that a third grader should not be noticing. I'd be looking at things that a third grader should not be looking at. It was truly like my innocence and my purity were gone, and it really wreaked a havoc on my life in so many ways. I got into stealing. I would start stealing money off my mom and my stepdad, which caused problems between them. I would act out in violent rage to where my stepdad had a big leather sofa chair, like a chair, recliner type chair, and I took a screwdriver, uh, a Phillips screwdriver, I believe it was, and I just started stabbing holes in it all over, like all over. I just had all this rage built up inside me, and I didn't know what it was. And I mean, kids are going to be bad. I mean, kids are going to act up. Kids are going to be bad. But you know, um, I had a lot of issues, with just perverse thoughts, violent acts of rage and all these different things. And I know it was all stemming from what happened to me that summer. Throughout the next few years of my life, I just had a continuous issue with, wanting to look at girls, wanting to look at things on TV that I shouldn't have been looking at, looking at pornographic material, looking at books with half naked girls in them, or maybe finding a actual X-rated movie of somebody's and looking at it at a friend's house, and I infected other people. Man, I would be around friends, other young boys, and and I would encourage them and uh, and lead them to wanting to look at stuff like that. And I'm not proud of this. I'm just sharing this with you guys because maybe it could help somebody else that hasn't been set free from all these things. And then as I got into junior high school, um, I began to, actually have girlfriends and things like that. Then I lost my virginity at a very young age, um, in junior high school, and it was my only way to show affection. I thought that the only way that you could show affection for so long was to have sex, to have that intercourse. It was like that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I felt that we should be doing. It was like that was like my goal, was to show that person how I feel, and that's all I could do. I now had a problem with intimacy. I couldn't show I cared about somebody by saying nice things or holding their hand or putting my arm around them or just walking or talking or cuddling or anything like that. And this happened all throughout my high school years. Um, I it was like I would just have one little relationship after another, and I ended up becoming I was just so unfaithful. I mean, of course, sex before marriage, of course, should not even happen. But I was having multiple different girlfriends and everything like that, and it's just like um, my whole perception about women was just like a plaything, like it was just not real, like it was just a game or something. I don't know why I thought that way. I just honestly, I really must have had the demon of lust and the demons of lust and inside of me, because now when I look back, I don't know how I was that way, but it was just like it was normal for me. Even in high school, there for a while, I was going to church, and uh, I thought that I was saved. I believed the doctrine of once saved, always saved, and I was thinking that pretty much I could do whatever I wanted to do as long as I believed I was okay. But here I was doing all these sexual sins and doing all these perverse things, and having all these things in my heart and mind. And I was called, basically I would have called myself a Christian. And then I joined the military at the end of high school, and went off into the military, and um, had two of my children at a very young age, and you know actually and went through a divorce with their mother, and the same was having the same issues. Uh, I was an adulterer. I didn't truly love her. I just married her because we had two kids, and the only way that we'd be able to support the kids was to get married, and so the military insurance would cover them kids. I was just so caught up in all these different girls that I had. I was living a multiple lifestyle. I was a predator. It's like girls were my prey. I don't know if I was trying to get back at them. I don't know if I was trying to. I had this evil inside of me that was wanted to. That's what it was. It must have been. I had this. The devil was inside of me, and I wanted to destroy as many people as I possibly could. I guess that's what it was. It had to be that. I was a sexual predator, and I even I was about 19 at the time when I got married, and I was dating girls, 17-year-old girls that were still in high school, seniors in high school, and things like that. And then I also liked older girls too. I mean, I was just totally possessed with the demon of lust, and it was only Jesus that could set me free. And sorry about that. I'm here at work and had to talk to my wife there for a minute. But I've tried to make this video a few times before, um, in times past, but I just couldn't stomach it because this is not a very easy thing for somebody to talk about, because I truly was a dog. I truly was, possessed with demons. And like I said, I was a sexual predator. I was out, um, you know, destroying young girls' lives, destroying women's lives. And I pray, I've asked the Lord to forgive me for all those things. And for the ones that I've been able to contact, I've asked them to forgive me too. But, but I don't know if any of you guys out there that have been through things when you were young. Maybe you had, other guys or other girls touch you, or you've touched them. Maybe you've been molested by your mom or your dad. Maybe you've been molested by an uncle or a brother or sister or somebody, or maybe you've had something similar happen to you, like I've had happen to me, and maybe it's plagued you for all of your life. Maybe it's still um, causing issues in your life. Maybe you haven't been set free from your addictions. Maybe you haven't been set free from the bondage of sin. I don't know why the Lord has me coming on here and sharing this information with you, but I'm just testifying where the Lord's brought me from. And for most of my adult life, was plagued with this demon of lust. I didn't care who I hurt. I didn't care what kind of damage I did to other people's lives. It was all about me. It was all about myself. It was all about what I could get. And that's what the demons, they want. They want to destroy your life, and they want to destroy the lives of other people. And the only way that I was set free, and the only way that you'll ever be set free, is if you'll submit your life to Jesus. And I'm not talking about going to a church. I went to church most of the time that I was going through all this, and that's not what helps you. It's about a personal and intimate relationship with Jesus. I've only had that for about 2 years now. But if you truly want to be set free from whatever demons that are plaguing you, whatever demons that are either oppressing you or that have possessed you, and that you feel like you don't have any control, and that you're just caught up in the lies, caught up in the sexual sin, caught up, shacked up with another girl or another guy, caught up in adulterous affairs, whatever it is that you're caught up in, the only way that you'll be able to get out of it, the only way that you'll be able to break this cycle of sin in your life, is if you'll submit your life to Jesus. And the way that you do that is to go to Him, to go to Him, go and cry out to Him, get on your knees, and go and get in your secret place. Go to your room and close the door. Get away from all the noise, and go kneel beside your bed. Go kneel beside your bed, or go get into your prayer closet if you got room in there. But wherever you can go, get alone with Jesus, and stay there with Him and cry your eyes out to Him. But you have to really want it. If you don't really want it, you're not gonna you're not gonna be set free. I cried out to the Lord for so many times, between the ages of my early 20s to my early 30s. I cried out so many times to the Lord, but it was all about me. It was all about, please, Lord. I'd get in a situation, I'd say, please, Lord, I won't do this no more. Please, Lord. I'd even get to tears sometime, but I didn't have the remorse. I didn't truly want to change. The Lord weighs every man's heart, every woman's heart. He knows whether or not you're sincere. He knows your motive for asking His help. And my motive was not pure. My motive was just to get by and get through what I was going through at the time so I could continue in my sin. I didn't want to change. I didn't want to turn away from my sin. I said that I did with my mouth, but by the way that I lived my life, I didn't. So until you get serious, until you're so serious to where you don't want nothing else of that old life, You don't want to be that same person anymore. You don't want to do the same things you used to do. And not only do you not want to do them, but you're determined to, to lay it all down. You're determined to not look at that stuff anymore. You're determined not to go there anymore. You're determined not to say the same old lies. You're determined to break off from whatever it is that's not of God. You know, when you get serious enough to where you lay it all down, then the Lord will break the shackles off. He'll break the chains that have you tied together to all these sins in your life. And this didn't happen for me until towards the end of 2010. You know, it's not even been 2 years yet. And I knew the Bible for most of my life. I knew doctrines of men that were handed down to me from Pentecostals, from Baptists. I even went to Catholic school for a little while. Knew a little bit of their doctrine. I never got deep into that. Um, but I had been to apostolic doctrines. I mean, I knew most of that. I knew a lot of doctrines for most of my life, and I knew a lot of the Bible, but I didn't know Jesus. I just met Jesus for real not long after my wife met Jesus back in 2008. And after seeing her conduct for nearly 2 years between early 2008 till the late part of 2010, I saw the real deal. I saw that Jesus speaks to his children. I saw that Jesus will set you free from addiction. I saw that Jesus is a healer. I saw that he's real. And I wanted it. I wanted to truly give my life to Jesus. And that's when he set me free. Towards the end of 2010, I cried out to him and I said, Lord, you know, I want to be set free from these demons of lust. I want new eyes. I want a new mind. I want a new heart. And he came in. When I got desperate enough, when I was seriously ready to surrender my life to him, he came and he set me free. He gave me a brand new heart. He cleansed my mind. I no longer lust. I no longer have the lust. When I look at a woman, I don't care if she comes into our store here and she's got a type of shirt on that you could just see her boobs. I don't care if she's got a $10,000 plastic surgery job on there and they look like the best ones you've ever seen in Hollywood ever. It doesn't faze me. It doesn't faze me anymore. I don't lust. I don't lust with my eyes after women anymore. It doesn't matter who it is, what it is. Doesn't matter if you laid something in front of me. Doesn't matter if there's a video that comes on that screen. I do not lust after women anymore. The Lord Jesus set me free from the spirit of lust. He set me free from every spirit that's connected with the spirit of lust. The spirit of fear, he set me free from that also. I no longer fear because Jesus lives inside me. I'm born again. I came onto YouTube December 24th of 2010, and it was not long before that the Lord baptized me with the Holy Spirit, and he totally cleansed me, purged me of all uncleanness. Everything that was not of him was totally purged out of my body. Every day, though, I have to submit myself to him and offer my body to him as a living sacrifice. Even though I'm born again, and even though I'm filled with the Holy Spirit, even though I can speak in tongues, it doesn't matter. If I quit, if I don't finish the race, if I just lay back and say, well, oh good, I'm good now. You know, Jesus set me free from all this stuff. I'm just gonna sit back and ride it out. No. Every day we have to submit ourselves to Jesus. Every day we have to deny ourselves, pick up our cross, and follow him. If we were going that direction, south, now we got to go that direction. We got to keep going that direction. We got to keep going down that narrow road. We got to keep going in Jesus Christ. We got to finish the race. But if you haven't started the race yet, if you haven't submitted your life to Jesus Christ, if you're still being plagued with demons of lust, demons of fear, whatever the demons are, whatever these forces of evil and powers of darkness are in your life, The only way that you'll have victory in Jesus is if you will submit to Him. Submit to Him. Submit to Jesus. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. We're not battling flesh and blood. I'm not battling what those girls did to me in the back of that camper. I'm not battling what my dad did to me that long ago. I'm not battling what any man or woman did to me. Yes, you need to forgive all those people, and I had to forgive all of those people because you can't be forgiven unless you forgive. Forgive them. Forgive them. Say, Lord Jesus, I forgive them, for they know not what they do. Lord, I forgive them. Please bless them. Bless them and do not curse them. So once you forgive those people and you say, Jesus, Jesus, I need you. I need you to forgive me. Lord, I need you to clean my heart. I need you to clean my mind. I need you to make me brand new. Once you get desperate enough to call on Jesus and ask Him to come into you and make you brand new, then He'll do it. But you have to be serious. Nothing in this world could be more important than your relationship with Jesus and where you stand with Him. Ask Him to come into you and do whatever He has to do to make you fit for His kingdom. My friends, if you are serious about giving your life to Jesus, if you're serious about being set free from sexual sin, if you're serious about being set free from lust, perversion, whatever addiction you have, pornography, masturbation, whatever sexual sins it is, whatever fear it is, whatever it is that's not of God, your conscience, your God-given conscience that you have knows what it is that you need to be set free from. Only Jesus knows. I don't know anything, but Jesus knows, and you know what it's in your life that's not pleasing to Jesus. If you want to be set free, you must go to Jesus. Go on your knees. And it's not a one-time, I done did that like a flu shot. Every single day for the rest of your life, you must submit yourself to Jesus Christ. The first thing you do, and all throughout the day, praying, all throughout the day, asking Him to mold you and make you and shape you into who He called you to be. But you must submit your life to Jesus Christ. Go to Jesus. Go and cry out to Him. You don't need another man. You don't need a book. You don't need any other thing. You don't need a self-help book. You don't need a counselor, a psychiatrist, or anything like that. You need Jesus. God is spirit. Without Jesus, you will not be able to do anything. But whom the Son sets free is free indeed. Jesus will set you free, but you must go to Him. He's waiting for you. The door of mercy is still open, but I don't know how much longer it's going to be open. So please, go and cry out to Him now before it's too late. He loves you. He will set you free. It doesn't matter what you did in your past. He'll make all things brand new, but you've got to go to Him. Run to Jesus before it's too late. May Jesus bless you. Actually, the summer before I went into third grade is when the spirit of lust really had a hold on me and began to manifest in and through me in my actions. And how that happened, I was exposed at a very young age, around 6, 7 years old. I was exposed to pornography, seeing my older cousin and his girlfriend, watch the movies and, magazine. Dad was in the military. He was in the Air Force, and he was going to be stationed over overseas in England. So we were going to move after summer. At the end of the summer, we were going to be moving over to the United Kingdom. And my mother got in touch with my real dad and told him that she didn't know when we were going to be moving back to the States, and we were going to be gone for a while, probably 4 years or more. You never know. And she said, you might want to spend some time with your. There's one in particular testimony that I've not shared on YouTube that I'm led by the Lord to share here today with you. It's not something that I particularly like to talk about, but it involves the spirit of lust. I was plagued with the spirit of lust since a very, very young age. Son, well, I didn't have a real close relationship with my dad. Um, some of you guys may know I had a video. My dad passed away last year, and the Lord brought us together here the last year of his life. But anyways, there's a video back in my videos from a year ago that you can look at. But so my dad wanted to spend some time with me, and so I went and spent every weekend over at his house. That summer before we moved, I went over there. I come across and looked into them, and honestly, I mean, at that age, you don't really understand what it is. You just, looking at pictures. And then um, the summer before I was in third grade, I must have been around 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old. Um, we were going to be moving to England, and my mom and my stepdad, um, well, my step